more in the long run. And if we don't do a big road program, we're gonna be irreparably behind on that. You get to a point where you cannot possibly catch up.
Well, not only the road you can't catch up, but it's gonna be harder on the equipment for the DPW, which ultimately means that you have to replace that. So, you know, one hand connected to the other.
The next part I wanted to go over was, water patrol. We didn't do that, that's on page 7. For the water patrol, if you'll notice, I have written, did you write that on there? Did you make a copy of it? For Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
No.
Okay, I have it figured out that we're gonna start, we would have a total of 39 weekend shifts, and there's 39 weekends and 16 Fridays, so we'll be covering Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Occasionally we'll be, and of course your holidays, that's all figured into that as well, because you know, you have July 4th, you have July 3rd fireworks, you have Labor Day, opening weekend, the fishing, things like that. So that's all figured in there, and I put in the wages at $27,217. I put in overtime hourly wages of $2,000, that would be for the coppers. If I can't get part-timers, then the officers on the department have the option to work it on overtime.
That only happened once this summer.
Yep, only once, we managed to do it once. And for uniform allowance, I put 2,000. The reason I put that in there is because the uniforms that the people have now, I've had them using them since 2017. So 17, 18, 19, 20, they didn't wear them for 4 years. And I'd like to be able to say, okay, you know, that shirt looks a little ratty, you need to get you a new shirt. And the things that we supply to the water patrol officers are shirts, caps, OC. OC is the pepper spray. Those are the 3 things that we supply. But the items that need to be replaced are the caps and the shirts. And if you recall, I've been averaging 60+% back on grant money to reimburse us for what we spend on water patrol. Repairs and maintenance, I put down 1,000 instead of 800, and I put 1,000 down because our lift needs a new cable, so that's going to cost money, and the cable is what's used to raise and lower the lift. The cable's just worn out, so that's gonna have to be replaced. If it gets replaced this year, I do have money in the budget for this year to cover it as well. Let's see. Contractual services, well, that's a normal expense that we do every year. The seminar fees, as you recall, each year we are required by law by the state of Wisconsin to send representatives to the water patrol in-service that the state puts on it. It was supposed to be this year, but it's usually every even year, but because of COVID, they canceled it, so it'll be next year. So that's why we need that money in there. And yes, we do get that money back as part of our grant reimbursement. Operating supplies, that's all self-explanatory. Repairs and maintenance, that covers if a prop would be damaged, it recovers oil changes, it recovers things that are done. And Greg takes care of that with the scheduling for us, so that works out very well. And fuel, well, that's self-explanatory. We actually spent less money, but I kept it at at 800, I put it at 850 instead of 800, because we don't know what's gonna happen after the election as far as pricing. We don't know where that's going.
Okay, before we go to the next step, the difference in the 19 and the 27, can you explain what the change is, what the difference is?
More hours.
Yeah.
And which days are additional?
Fridays, and because there's also, by contract, there's an increase in wages for both patrol officers as well.
Yeah.
So, just adding Fridays is the only change there. And the second question is, on the grant, we're not capped anywhere in this grant process right now, are we? If you increase, you know, costs, does your grant, allocation actually go with it, or are we capped somewhere in there right now?
The way the state figures it out is like this. They take the average of all of the boat patrols in the state of Wisconsin, and then look at the amounts, and then they come up with a percentage based upon what the Department of Homeland Security gives to the Coast Guard, and Coast Guard gives to the state of Wisconsin. I'm sorry, Coast Guard is part of the Department of Homeland Security. So what the Coast Guard and Homeland Security gives to the state, because the state applies for a grant, we get a percentage of it, and it's split between all the boat patrols. So the percentage is the same across the board for everybody. And so far as is, let's say it's 30,000, and on our audit, we get audited every year. On our audit, they say, okay, 30,000 is good, 60% you're gonna get. Okay, now the city of Milwaukee, when I did that one, it was almost 2 million. So we got 60% of 2 million. So it didn't matter how much you were at each part, it was still the same.
So the question is, you know, so if we wanna have a harder number for the next, workshop, is adding those Fridays, of course, I think we talked about that several years, too, about increasing the coverage a little bit. We should have an idea if we wanna do that or not, you know, and then we'll have both numbers unless we wanna make that decision today.
No decisions are made
And I guess
today.
it's
I
just-
could put in on October's agenda.
You could put, the numbers on the next workshop though the same way.
And the reason that the figures are less, the actual and the current is less is because some days the weather was so crummy, we just nutted it. We canceled it so that we didn't do it, and that's where the differences are.
Okay.
And then the last one was water, on the next page was water patrol equipment, you elected 1,000,
Yes,
so.
yes. That's in case something breaks like, but this year we bought a tow line, we bought some new equipment, and that's where the money went for this year. The tow line that was in there was, it was just terrible, oh my god. See,
That's everything.
I believe that's all
you know.
covered under the area that I just went into. Thank you for your time.